Hello and hi YouTube family, Celestial Thomas here, and you are tuning into Celestial Evolution. Now, I just released my introductory video. If you want to catch that, I will link it at the bottom. Basically explains what this platform is going to be all about, but I will reiterate it here in summary. Basically what Celestial Evolution wants to focus on is the simple fact that we need a foundation to stand upon in order to thrive and evolve as human beings. I don't care if you're a woman, you're a man, you need to have a foundation to grow. And what I think of when I think of a foundation, I think of 4 pillars. That includes physicality or fitness, spirituality, education, and financial well-being. I think that's what I said at first, but basically dealing in the financial realm, making sure you have your money right, okay, for the layman terms, okay? There's no such thing as a layman. If you have questions, ask. There's no penalty for curiosity. In fact, people need to be a little bit more curious in life, and that is 100. But today's episode is going to be focused on the spirituality category, and spirituality doesn't necessarily have to delve in religion. Spirituality, I feel for me, is a belief in a higher power. And what I mean by that is that you are but a small speck in this giant macrocosm called life. You are a very tiny microcosm that, despite your tininess, has a rippling effect on the giant scheme of it. Though we all take a little bit of accountability and focus on consciousness in regards to the fact that our thoughts manifest into life. And no matter how small and minuscule we have to understand that we are a part of a bigger whole. And the more that we can tame and do what we need to do for the betterment of everyone else, then I believe that is where true change is going to come. And that's a big part of why I started this channel, to be held accountable and to understand and be more responsible for this journey that I'm taking upon as a young adult, and not young anymore in societal means, but I feel that I do need to be a little bit more hard on myself, even though I always am. I'm very critical about how I live my life, but to take action. I think sometimes we can stagnate ourselves with our thoughts, and taking action right now in the form of speaking to you all and hopefully starting a beautiful relationship so that we can all grow together. Let me digress a little bit. So as a little girl, I didn't have I was kind of poor, and we didn't have TV and stuff. I was born back before really internet took off. Let's just put it like that. We'll divulge age later. We're still getting to know each other. We don't need to know everything. But I had a book, I had a journal, I had pens, and I would write out my thoughts. And for myself, that was very important looking back in retrospect, in the sense that I can really clearly, when you have things documented, you have a source to go back to and not just rely off your very fallible memory, which can trick you sometimes. And I go back and I read the thoughts that I had as a young girl, and I think, that's where the trauma happened, or that's why I feel this type of inferiority. And sometimes we lie to ourselves too. And I remember, as I was writing, sometimes you get triggered and you're like, was I really telling myself the truth, or did I want to tell myself what I want to hear? It's so important to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, you're going to let the world delude you. And when that happens, is when you lose all complete control of identity and what reality is actually based upon. And reality, again, is subjective, but understand the game and understand people's intentions and their value in what their life constitutes. So the episode today is based upon a quote that says, "Be the light that you want to see." And that is a very loaded word, because what that means to me is that we have to take accountability in regards to what we want to see in the world. It's very easy to accept a nature that is beyond us or that is not natural to us because it is the mainstream. And when that happens, when you adopt that sort of mentality because of following others, giving into peer pressure, or just because you feel you should be this in order to have some sort of induction into adulthood, you lose yourself and your identity. And you wake up 10 years later and look in the mirror and say, who the hell am I? Why I think this is important is the simple fact of this. In this world, I think we are not being true to ourselves because we don't have a developed sense of self. So we adopt certain personality traits or characteristics that are mainstream, that we see other people doing and getting and thriving off of social media and all of these, putting out their best life, and beautiful women being, what's that word? It's like a word, it's like flown out, but it's getting flued out or something like that. I was like, what kind of, I don't know, but I'm not judging, kind of judging, but not judging. I'm trying to be less judgmental, not just for women, men too. And I know I'm not a man, so I can't really speak for a man, but when I will see the trend, I've seen the trend of, men sleeping with hundreds of women, or less than hundreds, or maybe more than hundreds, and that is their sign of manhood, their kind of induction into manhood. How many women can you dominate? And I know a man's spirit is to dominate, so I don't want to create a pink pill, red pill type of platform on this, because honestly, to each his own. Whatever you feel is right for you and for your partner that you guys have come to an agreement with is right for you. Don't let me tell you anyway. I don't prefer that. I truly hope and pray to God for a monogamous relationship because that's what I truly want, but that's not for everybody. And that's just that. So that's my truth. But when you go out into the world and you accept these characteristics because it is what your friends were doing or what you see on social media, the women that you revere, especially those that are at a high accolade, because money equals value in our system, right? Or anybody. It's like money is king. And the more money that you have, the more people can tell you nothing. And I get it. I get it. I want some more money. Honestly, for me, my ideal life is owning my own house, being able to fly out to different countries and explore the history of why man became the way that they did, or the way they created their towns and everything. That's my happiness. To be able to take my family with me, my loved one. If I ever have little minis, I want to take them and teach them things. That's my happiness. But life doesn't exactly happen the way that you want it. Sometimes it happens the way you need it. I'm digressing, right? So when people adopt these certain personalities and certain characteristics, you start to lose yourself. And I'm not saying that you leading this type of life is not going to garner happiness. And momentarily it may, and for the rest of your life it may. But if I were to be honest with myself and I adopted those types of characteristics, I'd wake up 10 years later and I'd look at myself and I'd say, am I happy with myself? Am I happy here? Am I happy? And being a poor person, I think happiness for me is different than someone who was born a millionaire, or someone who, came up out of nothing and became a prestigious person of means. And I won't know what that feels like until I get there. But in the meantime, growing up poor, I understand that what happiness was to me was acceptance, was unconditional love, the ability to go and live my life but still have an anchoring at the end of the day to go back to and find center, your peace, yourself before the rest of the world diluted it, And I think the world is at a place where everything is so easily accessible and we're learning the tricks of the game without understanding context. And that's what I hope to bring in this channel is context. We start from, or we go from 0 to 100, not really understanding the levels that got from 0 to 100. Can we go to 0 to 5? Can we go 0 to 10? You know, and start small so that we can understand each and individual step and how each step can either be of benefit to your life and the rest of the world, or a detriment to your life and the rest of the world. We do things so impulsively. It's the dream, right? To have instant gratification in anything that we do, whether it's, you know, I really want this top and I can't afford it. Ah, credit card. Oh, man, dude. I really am hungry, but it's 12 o'clock at night. McDonald's is open 24 hours. Oh, man, dude. I'm so freaking on right now. Like, I am in heat. Tinder. I've never downloaded that app, by the way. It's so scary, especially for women. Girls, you don't need it that bad. Trust me, you can go to a bar, meet up with a guy a couple of times, 3 times. It doesn't need to be right away. You held it for that long, hold it a little bit more. Girl, you don't know where he's been. Like, you know, you could be putting AIDS up in there. You can be bringing back. Watch investigative discovery, okay? See, just download YouTube and watch criminal investigations, okay? And put Tinder in criminal investigations. 5 cases is enough for me to be like, no, thank you. But that's another topic too. That would be something else. That would be, shoot, or maybe I should put in common sense in the middle center of this foundation, just tack it in there. But trust me, I'm developing it too. I'm not talking down to nobody because we're all in this together. So I love to be happy, but I observe myself when I'm angry, when I'm sad. I love all my emotions because you can't pick and choose what emotions you are. If you're just always happy, what's the point of that? Truly take the time to understand ourselves, the nuances, the pieces that we conform to us, that create who we are and why we can begin to empathize with the world. I'm going to say that one more time. When we truly take the time to understand ourselves, the nuances that create who we are and why, we can begin to empathize with the world. We're all different, right? But can we agree that in life, the only thing that we really, truly want is to be respected, to be honored, to be loved, and to be free? I think those are things that we really all truly want, no matter where we are in our life, no matter what socioeconomic status we're in. I think that's truly what we want from the people that surround us and from life in general. Now, I took a acting course because, you know, as all artists do, we have to take some sort of acting course, right? And that's what I like to do when I want to express myself in different ways, because I'm such a square. I like to play a prostitute on screen, but I want to be a prostitute. Not judging any prostitutes out there, okay? Your life, girlfriend. But no thank you, but I will play it on screen though. I do like that, okay? It's fun. It's a little fun itself, you know what I'm saying? So there's this sequence that drama, the movies that you watch, it's curated by. And in movies, you only see the most dramatic points in life, right? They only have like 2 hours to get their point across to you. There has to be a pinnacle point, right? The climax of the story for you to really, truly understand, like, dang, that's what happened when this person kept making those choices and automatic, or someday just woke up and it's like Monster and she's like, no more, you're not gonna rape me anymore. Can you say rape? I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I hope this is not demonetized later, but I'll edit it. Just tell me the rules, guys. I gotta research some more. But okay, so like, you know, in Monster, she's like, I'm not gonna get used by men anymore, okay? So she starts killing them instead. Starts taking their lives away instead. You can't really use those vicious words, huh? But there's just some words that you have to use. Anyways, I'm gonna keep this video up because you guys will truly understand my real personality. This is me. So the sequence goes obstacle, which is what is put in between the person and what they want. So that's the obstacle. The action, what you actually do to get to where you need to be, okay? And then that's going to equal the outcome, the reality, what eventually happens. But there was these video games that had like different scenarios that like if you there was like 3 options, right? And like each option gave you a whole completely different reality. You could have been crushed in a garbage truck for one of them, or you could have found the perpetrator that you were looking for in some other type of reality, right? That's life, but we don't get a redo. We can't, you know, just be like restart and go, let me try this other scenario. No, you make the decisions and you make your decisions, and sometimes it doesn't go exactly the way you planned it, because guess what? There's other parts to the piece, or there's other pieces to the puzzle. But let's say like the situation, right? The obstacle. Dang, man, my rent is coming up. I'm about $100 short. Choices. I'll list 2 for the sake of brevity. Sit and mope. 2, work a couple of extra shifts. Action. Pick a choice. Outcome determined by your choice. So if I sit and mope and I'm just like, I'm so broke, then the rent comes along and you're short, and then you get kicked out and you're evicted out of your house, right? Because you were dumb, you just didn't want to work. Or you could work, make that money, make a little extra, you know, take your boo out for a date and call it a day. You know, life's good, balling, boiling, or you know, drizzling. So application, and what I mean by that is the application of what this means in regards to be the light that you want to see, and understanding that it really does boil down to the actions, the outcome, understanding that the obstacles of life are always going to be there. You know, people are doing their own thing. You can choose to follow the trend, which I really do feel is going to be the demise of our world, or you can choose to do something different and be a little bit less known, seen, but making a bigger impact in the smaller sense than in the bigger sense. And just because you have influence doesn't mean you're a positive influencer. It just sometimes means you're have a little bit more bravado than the quiet person who is actually making moves in our community to further and advance our future generations, or at least better the current reality that we have. So the application of what I just said to you is, what are you doing right now? Let's sit down. Be observant of the sounds that surround you. The lives outside of yourself. Think of them. Your mom, your dad, your uncles, your aunts, your friends. The things that they're going through. The things that they're constantly having to battle with themselves in regards to insecurities or health or finances. What are they going through? Do you ask? Do you care? Observe the thoughts going on in your head. What are they motivated by? Why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve? Or why do you want to do what you want to do at this moment, at this precise period in time? Now, eliminate the things that you can't control in order to get to where you need to be, and focus on the ones that you can, the things that you can control in order to get what you receive. And the bad negative thoughts, get them out of your brain. Just think about reality and the tangibility of the reality. How accessible is it to me? And what do I need to get it? And I know that this is going to be hard because we do live in a world of instant gratification where we really truly don't have to work hard for anything. So I don't know if this all made sense. And I'm at like 33 minutes on this. So I think I'm going to end it here. That was the last of my notes, and I'm not one to be really willy-nilly with my speech, because then I'll just literally go on a soapbox and you're just like, where did we begin? But this began with, be the light that you want to see. And with that comes accountability, and accountability results in having to make choices, whether they're good or bad. There's no good or bad choice. They're life lessons. Remember that in regards to that, and failure. I don't like to use the word failure. I like to use it as life lessons. Actually, that was coined by Oprah, who I'm sure learned it from somebody else, because Oprah likes to read. And if you don't like Oprah, that's fine. But she has some good nuggets out there. You know what I'm saying? You better take the nuggets, dip them in the sauce, and put it in your mouth, because you gotta eat them sometimes. Okay, just dip them. It's like gold nuggets. You put them down your body. Gold is good for you. We'll talk about that later too. But anyways, we don't like to take responsibility for the life that we create. So be more conscious about the things that we do. Be set in reality, what is trending, and understand that, it's going to have some influence on how you are taken in life, your personality, but be authentic with yourself. Sometimes going against the grain is what is needed for innovation and change. When people can stand up for what they believe in rather than going with the mainstream. Mainstream's just easier, but when you're finding and navigating your own course, you gotta hack away the weeds. And in a world where easy mode is prevalent and the mainstream course, most people are going to get into that because it's easy. Anyways, Celestial Evolution, this was me, and I hope you had fun with me today. I'm sorry if a lot more show than I needed to, but I got really a lot of compliments on this dress today. It's so demure. It's like a very pretty and feminine dress, and it's springtime out here. Sorry, let me get this ruffling out the way. But it's springtime out here where I'm at, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm going through some things right now, but when you wake up every morning with a little bit more purpose than you had yesterday, it makes things easier. So find your purpose, because there's one for everyone out there. I don't care what your life and where your life is taking you. There's always something to improve on every single day, and it's not too late. As long as you have breath in your body and a pep in your step, you can make things happen. Your past doesn't dictate you, unless you're like a pedophile or like a murderer. In that case, this channel is not for you, and I hope that you rot in hell. I do. I truly do. I think you don't deserve to live. I truly don't. I think you should go get your special places decimated. Okay? So yeah. Celestial Thomas again, signing off and hoping and wishing and praying that you really truly understand the power that you have as a member of the world that we live in. We all have a part in the role of life. So, have a great evening. Signing off. Bye-bye. I gotta like come up with like a really good sign off. But like Celestial Evolution is, we will evolve. For now, peace.